Okay, so today is all about planting cucumbers and tomatoes. Let's take a look at what we've got. So my equipment, in no particular order, is a watering can ready to water in the transplants because it's a more gentle way than really pressing down the roots. A kneeling pad so I don't compact the soil too much. My trowel so I can dig some little holes ready for the transplants to go in. I've got these metal rods that I'm going to use just while the transplants just here are growing to give them some support. My tape measure I've already used, so you can see along this builder's line here I've made the nice straight line for the first row, and I've already made markings where the tomatoes are going to go 45 centimeters apart, and then the cucumbers should be 60 centimeters apart, but I don't quite have that, so I'm doing 55 centimeters. And then the last thing on the list is some of this fleece, agricultural fleece, or horticultural fleece rather, that I'm going to use to cover up the transplants. So that's the first step. It's a nice sunny day, and I'll pause for a second and I'll do a little bit more and show you what we're doing next. Okay, so next bit's done. Got a nice row of shallow holes, and what I did, I just dug down a little bit with the trowel to loosen the soil. We basically got the 2 holes here for the tomatoes, more closely spaced than the next 4 holes for the cucumbers going up there. These cucumbers actually go to the edge of the bed, which you can see just based on the different natural fertilizers that are biodynamic and organic. So you can see the change in color from this side to this side. So this side is the heavy feeders, so this had some different treatment. And then there's also part of this row here is for the last 2 cucumber transplants, and then there's space left just up here for 4 tomato plants that could be coming in early May. So that's that part. The next part is, you can see the transplants have been soaking in a nice bath of a biodynamic preparation called CPP, which it means cowpat pit, also called barrel preparation. So they've been having a nice soak for about an hour, and I'm going to actually keep the liquid in here because it's full of fantastic microorganisms that are going to be another way to bring the soil microlife to life. The soil does actually look pretty good to my untrained eye. Looks quite rich already. Seems like a nice soil, seems to retain the water quite well. Nice composition, so hopefully that's okay. But anyway, we want to do everything we can to improve and enhance the soil microlife. So I'm going to be putting this into the watering can and using it mixed with some more rainwater to water in the transplants. And another trick I've been reading about is also putting some of the Mausdorf starter, which is a dried version of the CPP biodynamic preparation. I'm going to sprinkle some of that in the bottom here, so it also helps to nourish the soil where the roots are going to be wanting to hopefully get established. So that'll be the next thing I'm going to do, put some Mausdorf starter in the base of the holes, and then I'm going to start resting the transplants in there. Okay, so I've sprinkled some of the Mausdorf starter in the bottom. Next step is to pick out the transplants here, place them gently in the hole. I'm going to crumble some of this soil just to put around it, but I really want to avoid pushing the roots down, so I don't really want to squash the roots too much. So that seems okay. I'm going to put some extra soil around the top because in a second I'm going to water this in. That's the first one. The second one I'm a bit worried about when it came in the post, it was a bit more damaged, so I'm a little bit worried about that one. So crumbling the soil again, making sure it's really nice and fine. Being quite gentle with it, again, not to trap the roots too much, removing any stones that are coming out. Okay. That one seems okay as well. Hopefully we're all good to go there. So now what I'm going to do is just water in the transplant, nice and gently. See, it's compacting the soil down quite nicely. So that's definitely a nicer way to settle the transplants than being quite heavy-handed. This one's settling down quite nicely as well. I'm going to make sure there's a good drink for the plant so it can get settled into its new home. That's okay. And then what I'm going to do as well, just before I finish off with these, now it's already come with these stakes, these sort of small stakes, but I just want to give it a bit more support, so just going to find somewhere that feels right, maybe here. Just try not to damage roots too much, but just giving the plant a little bit of support. Find a bit of a better spot than that, with the soil a bit more firm. So a little bit of support there, and then I'm going to do the same with this one as well. Finding where the soil is slightly more firm, and then those two supports working together will hopefully give the plant some support as it grows. And then as it grows, I'm going to add some bamboo canes anyway, and then the last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a hoop of metal over the top so that when I lay the fleece on, the fleece won't damage the plants. So that's the tomato plants. I'm going to do the same now with the cucumbers. Okay, there we are. So all the transplants are in. They've all got their small stakes to help as they grow. Got hoops over the top. That's all done in this row, and then in that row over there. Next job is to cut to size and then lay over the fleece to give them some protection from the frost and potentially snow, which we had just a couple of days ago. Okay, there we go, tucked in, ready for the night ahead. So hopefully that's done okay. The only thing I really need to find a better way to do, or to sort of the way to do it, is I'm just putting some of the soil around the edges of the fleece, which works pretty well over there with the potatoes, and then I'm just laying pieces of wood on the side that I want to be able to take up to water, so it's easy to get access, and just leaving the soil on the sides that I don't need to lift up. But it seems a bit impractical, so I need to find a bit of a better solution for that, but it'll do for now. So all looks okay. I'm going to take the chance to do a bit more weeding down the other end, and that's everything for today.